right, I already.
You're.
Hey. I got your cup, girl.
Ella, where's your cup? You're fucking up, ma'am.
On it.
I know what the fuck you do.
See, y'all that are drinking water?
Yeah.
At least you got me really over here like, I'll give you 15,000. I'm scared.
I mean, but that's what I was saying about big risk and big reward, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know this nigga.
Nah, but that's the best people to fuck with, to be honest with you, because it hurts less when it's a stranger. What if somebody you know?
Motherfucker, it's gonna hurt me all the same. Hurt my pockets.
But honestly, I feel like
don't hurt the same.
A business partnership, like we don't have to be friends. We don't have to have known each other for years. It's business, you know.
It's not that. It's just like I don't know. I don't know him, so I don't know how his business runs. I don't know his success rate. I don't know if he's shiesty. Not trying to put nothing together, but
I definitely did my research first. That's for sure.
I'm over here like, I don't know. Maybe see how I go with you, and then the next one bring me in on.
Yeah, let me know, and I'll put something.
Yeah. Let's do it like that. Like this first one, I know it's not gonna be right away. Like I know it's gonna be months, maybe even next year. But like, maybe see how I go with the first one, and then after that, I'm like, okay, I can do that. Because I was over here like, my shit, I got 15,000 shit.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. When she was saying it initially, I was like, man, I got that. Like, what the fuck? But let me see. You play with your money first, because you money bags.
Yeah, you play with your money. You play with your money first.
Yeah.
You play with your money.
You let me know how that goes.
Plus, I'm like really wanting to buy a duplex. So I would be pissed if I like, instead of buying a duplex, put it in an investment property and it don't go away. And I'm like, nah, I could have just invested it into the rental property I wanted to invest it in. So I would be upset. I'm scared.
It took a long time for me, but I was like, it was moving fast. It was like late, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. I did my research on him prior to, you know, he set me up all the paperwork. I looked it over, and like, fuck it, let's just do it. And it took a long time for me to send the money because I had to send it through like Cash App and Zelle, like increments at a time.
Because they don't let you send that amount at once.
Yeah, and of course, anything over 10,000 automatically gets the IRS. And now that you get your homeowner's license or your home inspector's license, like we can do this.
It's gonna be lit once I get that.
Like we can do this.
Welcome back to another motherfucking episode of Basically Unpopular. It's your girl Laura.
It's your girl Bay.
Hey, yeah, bitch is back like she never left. Hey, y'all know who it is. Patricia, she's back. Did y'all miss me?
I did. I did.
Did y'all miss me? Did y'all miss me? Did the world miss me? I missed y'all. Because I missed y'all.
Yo, we haven't recorded in what, like 4 months? So I mean, y'all already heard that, you know, money bags over here, big bailer out here making big money moves. Patty, what you been up to?
I mean, I've been up to coming back home. Because bitch is back, okay? Been home for about a week now. This whole week I just been moving into my new crib and chilling. You know, it's COVID, so it ain't too much, you know, too much.
True. How you been liking your new apartment?
Oh, I love it. I really like it a lot. I've been redecorating, so I spent too much motherfucking money because I completely redecorated. But I love it. I was so happy to like finally get to a point where I can like be in my own space, like lay down on my couch, turn on the TV, light some candles, be naked. Like it be the little things that you take for granted. Ignore my nail. I was bowling yesterday and I broke it. It be the little things that you take for granted. The little things. Like laying around in the road. You know, be little shit like that. Like having an entire day where you don't have to do nothing. Like absolutely nothing if you don't want to. Be the little things. So that's all I've been up to. Getting back into routine.
All right. Well, we all know we haven't been recording because my girl's been deployed. And it's not basically unpopular if it's not all three of us, unfortunately. So let's just talk about this deployment. Let me know like how, because my turn is next year. I'm about to do this shit next year. So talk to me.
Yes, you are next year. Are you nervous?
I'm not because like how I'm going with like 19, 20 people that I know. So the chances of us doing the same exact job is small, but it's still people that I'm comfortable with, still people that I know, still people I know I could run to if anything was to happen. So no, I'm not. I'm ready.
That's a plus. That's a plus. I went up there with one person that I actually work with, and then he ended up having to leave like 2 months in. So I was basically up there by myself pretty much. Like it was a lot of people from my base there, but they weren't from my job, so I didn't know them.
Yeah.
But just knows overseas, it's in the desert, it's hot as. She's going the same time frame that I went, starting off 120, 125 degrees every single day. I'm talking about you step off the plane, it's so hot, your boots is melting to the concrete. Like I'm talking about like I stepped off the plane at probably 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black outside. And it's like hot. Like I'm standing in front of an oven hot. And I'm thinking it's because we're close to the plane. Well, we've been flying for like 12 hours. Like I'm thinking it's the heat coming from the plane. I pull up my phone, look at the weather. It's 110 degrees outside. 10 o'clock at night. Like, so just brace yourself because it's some heat. Like that heat's some heat. And you an island girl, but there's some different heat. Because ain't no water around. None of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm used to the heat, but like I'm used to sea breeze. Like you're not that over there.
Ain't no water. It ain't no trees, so you don't get no breeze from like
no
the
trees
around you.
No shade.
And there's no shade. It's so bright. Like when I woke up the first morning, I thought I went blind because like so the first 2 weeks I was there, I was in a tent, and so there's no windows or nothing. So it was like pitch black. So I get up in the morning to go use the bathroom, and I'm talking about immediately shut my eyes. It's so bright there, like it's crazy because there's no trees, there's a city, but we wasn't in the city. So like there's no skyscraper, there's no buildings, there's none of that. So it's like just bright sun.
Yeah. Every day you get in direct contact with that shit. Like there's nothing to hide. Wow, that's But I'm ready though.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it. I really think it's gonna be good, especially since you're there with people. I hope that COVID is over when you get there. Because the only thing I hated is that I could not leave the base. Because of COVID and because of the restrictions, we could not leave base. I would have loved to leave the base because I heard that like where we was at, the nearby city is a very rich city. Very just, it's not a lot to do, but there's lots of like shopping. There's not like lots of like sightseeing and stuff like that. Like it's really dope to get out into the city or whatever, but I wasn't able to do that. So I hope that like once you go, they lift that restriction, especially since you're up there with a lot of people that you trust and stuff. So, because on base wasn't bad either. Like when I first got there, everything was shut down. And then about a month or so in, they opened everything up. So, I mean, there's the pool, there's a rec center, there's some restaurants, there's some stuff. It's a lot of gyms.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like what my job consists of is like we run the rec center, we run the gyms, we run the kitchen, we run lodging. So at least there's like some fun shit that I could be a part of.
Yeah, like, and they would put in, I think y'all will also probably be throwing a lot of the events that they did.
That's what we do too, yeah.
Threw an event for Labor Day. They threw one I was up there for so many holidays. They threw one for 4th of July where they brought a bar down and music and all that stuff. They did the same thing for Labor Day. They threw something really big for Halloween. Like they threw like a whole block party for Halloween. Set up they didn't bring the bar though. I was a little upset about that. But set up tables and haunted houses and all of that stuff. So like, yeah, that was, and they would coordinate like sipping paints and movie nights. And so like, if you really go up there and get involved, it's really not bad. I didn't get involved in all of that stuff, but I did keep myself busy, which is my recommendation to you, is to keep yourself busy. And I know it's like, if you work the schedule I worked, it's going to sound impossible because I worked 72 hours a week. I was working 6/12s. But the only thing I say is like, please don't be that person that like goes to work and go to your room. Go to work and go to your room. Like, find something extracurricular. For me, it was the gym, working out and stuff like that. But like, and then I started like classes and stuff while I was up there as well. But like, just find something to get, even if it's just one thing to get involved in. I think it'll be easy for you because like, you know, you right there with everything, and it just make your time go by faster.
I have some goals myself. Like I when I go up there, my plans is to go like to get this body right. You know, like I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to go back to, and I'm not gonna go back to BMT days, but
You might.
I want to get as close as possible because like when I was in BMT, when we were in BMT, I had a 4-pack. My thighs, like I didn't even notice how my body was looking until like graduation, and my dude came to see me. He was like, "Yo, like look at your arms, like my arm, like I had the cut in my arm, my thighs was on point, like I didn't notice none of this because you know we have to go. Nobody's looking at themselves in the mirror and those kind of things. So I'm trying to get back into that vibe when I get there. Like I'm gonna be with myself. Like I'm not gonna have no kind of distractions besides from my job. So that's like the perfect time for me to get myself right and big. Is that something you would want to do? Like, would you want to be deployed, or you like, nah, for that shit? Because we all know you don't like the military.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind as long as, you know, it's not too long. Like the 4 to 6 months, I can do that. You know, I feel like that's reasonable. I feel like you had a good time. I feel like you said, it was a good experience, and I would definitely go for the experience of it for sure. Even though I don't
6 months. Guard and Reserve don't usually do like the 8-12 months. That's like
we can't. Like we can't because that's a whole different vibe. So that's active. Like I know somebody who just came back, and he went from October to October because he was supposed to come back, but due to COVID, he couldn't come back. So he spent a whole year over there. So we know he made bank. Like that's not the question, but like it's like damn. But he just went active. Like he don't have no like. Unfortunately, he don't have no wife or kids or anything to come back to, so he was just chilling. But he was lucky enough to only be working for I think he worked for the 6 months that you're scheduled to deploy for, and then the rest of it, like he helped out, like he did a few other things, training people, whatever the fuck, but like he didn't really work, so he was getting paid to just chill for 6 months. So since me and Patty, we're not going to talk about where she went and where I'm going to avoid saying locations. For you to get deployed, where would you want to go there, Bae?
Of course, I wanted to go somewhere like mad, unrealistic, like fucking somewhere tropical, which I know is not an option.
That's what anybody's going to say, though. Of course, nobody's going to want to go to the desert.
Not the desert, but I would like to go somewhere like Dubai. I would like to go somewhere in England, somewhere in like that.
It's crazy. Dubai is not difficult because if you was to go to Qatar is like right there. So that's not impossible either. So you should maybe look into that.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, our unit, we don't deploy often or really ever. So it's pretty, as medical, like they don't normally, especially as guard, they don't send us for the most part. We do more local missions. So when things happen locally to Virginia or stateside, that's when they deploy us. But as far as overseas, not so much. But I'd definitely be open to it if the opportunity presented itself to me. I wouldn't turn it down unless I had a very good reason, but I would definitely be open to it. But
I don't know if you know this, but if you were to go and like on the portal or anything like that, and you see any deployments and you see it at those locations, you could ask to go. Like you don't have to go.
It's called like a volunteer.
Yeah, you don't.
It's like volunteer something. You don't even have to ask your unit. You could just go on and like.
You just have to talk to your commander, and then you'll be able to go and see that shit for yourself. Like right, like how I always tell people, like if you don't have kids and you don't have like that thing that holding you back, like you should go ahead and do it. So if you go on there and you're interested and you go on there and you see something, you could just talk to your commander and you ship your ass out. Like once they have the money, because technically it's still your base that's paying you. So once they have the money, you ship your ass out.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that because I didn't even know that was an option. So I definitely will.
Yes,
But
Yeah, I'll suggest anybody to get the full military experience. I suggest doing it. Plus, it's a way to like meet people. Like I met a few like really good people. I met a couple people that I know that I'm gonna keep in contact with. That like even after they left, we still keep in contact. And then, like I said, it's just a time to like really wind down and focus on yourself. Like I went with a notebook full of like bullet points of goals. Like I started meditating while I was up there, started reading more while I was up there, started writing more while I was up there, I started praying more. Everything that was on my goal list, like I started doing it more while I was up there because it's just a time to like really get focused and hone in on yourself and like focus on yourself. So like my goals was like just work on my mind, work on learning. And I learned a lot about my job because I learned way more about my job because it's like real world stuff. So like I was able to pick up a lot more things. And so I just wanted to be more well versed on my job and just, you know, and hit all my goals that like when I'm home, I put to the side a lot. So like, and then I know it's not going, like, I know I'm not going to come back and be like this great person now, but it was like a good momentum starter. Like it was a good way to kickstart. So it's just like, it's a lot of different reasons of why I would like recommend people deploying. And you save money because you're not paying no bills or nothing.
So
and you ain't
Bailey
got
just
shit to
said
do.
what she does. Bailey just said she's medical in the military. I'm FSS, I'm Fort Support Squadron. What's your job, Patty?
Supply.
Okay. So so while you was out there, what were you doing?
So basically I went out there to support maintenance. That's why it was only 2 of us from our job. So it was like 40 something, 50 maintenance guys who basically work on the planes. And then we was there to support them. So basically we was providing them everything that they needed. So in the deployment area, you're flying all day long. We got way more aircraft than we had at like my home station. And and then we fly C-130s, which is like the oldest aircraft in the military. So like literally when it goes somewhere and comes back, something's always broke off of it. So basically I managed like millions of dollars of aircraft parts. And then whatever I didn't have on hand, because like I went over there with that stuff, like from my home base, I went over there with this big ass kit full of aircraft parts. And that's what I managed because, and then whatever I didn't have on hand, I ordered it and it came from like different countries and stuff like that. So like that's basically what I do is like supply them with all the parts and things that they need. And then they have to give it back too. So I have to make sure they're like giving it back and we're swapping evenly and all that extra stuff. And, you know, they just always have what they need because, you know, we fixed all kind of crazy stuff. Like one of the planes ran into a pole and fucked the whole wing up. Yeah. And you typically fix an aircraft wing. So I didn't have nothing like that. So like, I'm like on the hunt for shit like that. One time they was flying and a pigeon flew into the front windshield and it cracked the windshield. Not something that you typically fix. I had to be on the hunt for that. One plane caught on fire like 3 times, fucked up shit that you don't typically fix. Like it was crazy. It was like a lot busier than it'd be at home because they're doing a lot. Like we're guard, we're a lot slower than an active duty pace. So they was like, it was a lot more busier than it'd be at home because it was a lot more wear and tear on the aircraft than it typically would be when I'm at home. So that's pretty much.
So I have a question. Like how you mentioned, like because all 3 of us were guard, and you were obviously once you got deployed to an active duty base. How do you feel? Like because technically we learn our jobs. Like once you don't get on no kind of title that you work on base, we do our jobs literally 1 week in a month, and then 2 weeks out of the year is when we do some kind of group project, just to put it in civilian terms, like a group project, and we work on our thing together. But now that you had to go there and really get into it like full time, like how different did you feel like it was, or did you feel like it wasn't no different, or did they give you at your base? Did they give you preparations for it, or you just went in blind and you're like, yeah?
So because I work full time, I had a little experience. And then, so like the section that I was working in is not the section that I do back home. Like at home, I'm customer service. There, I was doing a little bit different than when I do back home, but like it's all supplies, all logistics. So the section that I was working in is like right there. So I was able to like go into another office and like get trained up. So I knew I was able to get thrown in because we basically got thrown in because like literally the people who replaced us, like our replacements had like a whole month with us. The people that we replaced, we had like 3 hours with. So it was rocky starting off, but it wasn't like we was crashing and burning because we knew some things. So if you are 1 week in a month, I suggest, and you've only ever been 1 week in a month and you're getting deployed, I would suggest asking your unit to put you on some orders, which I'm sure they're not going to say no for training purposes. You just have to just go in and just take a notebook, write down as much as possible, pay attention, and know you might fuck up a couple times, but it is what it is because the show gonna go on with whether you fuck up or not. So you just learn from that mistake and keep it pushing because you don't get your hand held like it's most jobs when you first start off. Like you just got to go in and figure it out pretty much.
Is there anything that now that you've done it that you wish you would have known before so you could have prepared better for it, or anything that happened or that you wish you just would have known?
Just probably like a few mistakes that we made in the beginning in the office as a whole from just not knowing things, but it wasn't nothing too terrible where it was like, oh my God, like, but like, later on we learned some things. We're like, oh, okay, in the beginning, this shit could have ran a little bit more smoothly if I just would have known this and known that, but it wasn't nothing like.
Or even just personally, things you wish you brought with you that you didn't, things that you realized that you needed that you didn't have.
Oh, I feel like I was like I had everything that you could possibly, like I bought a ton of stuff before I left. Like I bought all my toiletries. I probably wish I would have brought less stuff because Amazon, first of all, they made it like, oh, it's going to be so long. It's going to take so long for Amazon to ship there. I got everything in anything that I ever ordered from Amazon, it came in less than 2 weeks. So there's a BX there, but it didn't really have a whole lot. So whatever wasn't at the BX, I got off Amazon, and it didn't take long to get there. But like, I probably would have packed less stuff because you're carrying all them bags. And like you're carrying. One thing I will suggest, get wheels. Even your carry-on that you're gonna take on the plane, wheels. Like I had a duffel bag. I wish I would have got like one of the little duffel bags with wheels on it. That's my biggest suggestion. Make sure everything has wheels, except for like the backpack you put on your back. But like where I was at, it was very easy to get stuff shipped to you. I wish I would have like packed enough for stuff to last me like a couple weeks instead of like packing to where I'm trying to like make it last the entire time I was there though.
So going back on your job, what is it like working with a complete different base? Because not even like it's not, besides from it being random people, it's random people that does the same job as you but completely different. So how does that, how did that work?
How you do it back home, treat it like it's a whole nother job that you ain't never, and just adjust. Like, because everybody knows you could do one job for 15 years and they go around the corner to a whole nother company and it's the exact same job, but they do everything a completely different way. So it's just like adjust and like everybody come together and find common ground. I think the biggest issue was some people was wanting to like combat everything because it wasn't how they was used to, but nobody's doing things how they're used to doing it. So it's just like, we gotta, come, like, this is how it's done here. This is how we're gonna do it. And it's okay. You just make your time 10 times harder because you don't want any type of change or anything like that. Personally, I feel like you should want to learn how to do things a different way.
Right. Because there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, and then that's, if you ever go into another job or if you ever trying to get another job, these are all these skills that you've picked up all of these different ways you just skin the cat. That's some good things to go into an interview with. Like, you know how to do one job 5 different ways. So you go into an interview explaining all of this. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't try to just do it. And then, like, one thing in the military culture that I've realized with older people in the military, they're stuck in their ways. If you ever realize, you hear older people in the military like, oh, like when I first got in, we would have never da-da-da-da. Or when it don't work like that. Like, it's 2020. And then, like, over there, like, we broke, okay? We broke. We ain't had no copiers in there. Everything's done on paper. Like, it's different. Like, you just have to adjust. Like, you have to adjust, and it's okay. Like,
I definitely know what you mean by like working with people who either served in the military a long time and they're retired, or they're still in, or they're civilians now. They are very much stuck in their ways of this is how we've always done it. This is how we're going to do it. They're against the continuous process of improvement. There's such things as improvement. So now there's a better way to do it. There's an easier way.
Like, or just being flexible. Like, it might not be as good as the system as it is. It's not the same resources. It's not the same. So, like, you have to learn how to be flexible. Like, you have to learn how to work with what you got. Like, you in a mission capable place. Like, shit don't stop over here. So you just got to figure it out.
You got to do what you got to do. Like, it's really not that deep. But I feel you.
And that's really my biggest thing is like, that's another big thing I feel like don't create problems. You over there for however many months, whether it's 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. Try to be as happy as possible. Don't be getting upset about little silly stuff because you're there too long. You're going to be missing your family. You're going to be missing home. You're going to be just all of this stuff. You're going to be ready to get home. Why make it that much worse by like fretting over silly stuff? Like, be as at peace with everything around you as possible, because it gets miserable in a sense. Like, my last 30 days, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get home. Oh, I can't. And that feeling sucks. Like, when you just like count down and it just seems so far away, and every single day you like, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home. Like, and so to like add on to it by being like upset about just making your time harder, just be at peace with shit. Like, whatever, blow it off, keep pushing, because you don't want to be up there mad, angry, and miserable every single day, because you gotta wake up and do it all over again and see them people all over again. Like, see the same. It's literally, y'all ever seen the movie Groundhog Day?
Mm-hmm.
That's really literally what it's like. Same routine every single day. It mirrored each other. I'm guessing Connor ain't seen it.
No.
It's basically, this movie is like, they've remade this in so many different type of forms, but like basically it's like this guy wakes up and it's the same day every single day, and he can't make it stop, like from beginning to end. Like, everything's the same. That's literally how it is up there. So it's just like, make the best of it. Like, don't be getting into it with your coworkers. Don't be up there trying to be on a power trip. But I feel like it's always one person. You're always gonna come across, especially in the military. You're around so many different people. It's gonna be somebody who just got that personality. Don't be that person. And
when you run into that person, don't let them get to you.
And you can't, because, and I'm guilty. Oh, it's pissing me off. But you can't, because you want to be at it. You already got a million things. You already ready to go home. You already missing stuff. You don't want to be angry and upset and all of that, annoyed or whatever, about stuff that really don't matter. Because, shit gotta get done regardless. You guys work with these people regardless. You gotta get up and do it all over again regardless.
Yeah.
So what would you say are your like key takeaways? What your key suggestions to someone who is getting ready to deploy, about to deploy, something like that? Like, your biggest lessons learned through that whole experience?
I don't know if I learned any lessons. I picked up on a few things. Like I told you, maybe, okay, I'm gonna say this is probably my biggest lesson learned. When I went up there in the mindset of, because I was going through some things with people and stuff back home. So like, my biggest mindset was like, I can't wait to get away to be by myself. Like, my whole mindset was, Like I want to spend time by myself. Like I don't want to deal with people. And this is a good time to like get away and be by myself. Like go to work on my goals, by myself. I didn't have no plans on socializing with anybody. I didn't have no plans on like doing none of that stuff. Like I felt like it should be, I can spend all of these months like just being by myself and I'll come home and I'll be great. I wouldn't suggest spending that much time by yourself. I would suggest getting out and meeting some great people because people are from all over, different countries, different states, all of that. Like I said, you might actually meet a couple people who like you really can take some great things away from. So that'll probably be my biggest mindset. Like my biggest lesson is like, yeah, you can be focused and you can focus on yourself and you can be by yourself, but it's okay to like, when you in an environment like that where you're meeting people from all walks of life, try to grasp onto a couple people because you can learn a lot. So that was probably my biggest lesson. Like you can't do it all by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. I have two questions.
Okay.
One is melanin. We're Black. We have different vibes to how we comb our hair, how we present ourselves. So as a Black woman, having to deal with our natural curly, kinky hair, how did you deal with that? And did you have a deployment bed? Did you care for it? Did you see it a lot over there? Like, what was the, if you had those kind of friends and you had those kind of conversations, like, what was the, like, that kind of life over there?
Okay. All right. So the first question was about hair. Okay. So basically, y'all know I went up there with braids and then I took a bunch of braid hair and like twist hair and stuff up there. The water, like I was suggested not to wash my hair with the water. Like somebody told me they use bottled water.
Yeah.
I didn't do that because it was too much. That was too much work. I just made sure I like when I did wash my hair, I just conditioned it really good and I put a bunch of oils on it and all of that stuff. Where I was at, there was a braid shop. I had them braid my hair one time. I wasn't a fan of it, but I did go back twice and have them do hot oil treatments, which I was a huge fan of. So like if you can do your own hair, I would suggest like, brands. If you have I was able to like sit in my room and do my own hair because I didn't have a roommate, which is not a thing. Don't get excited. It's like I was like extremely lucky. So I was able to like, typically you'll have a roommate and they'll be like on the opposite. You have two roommates, you have three because they put four in a room. But typically if you just have one, they'll be on the exact opposite shift of you. If you have more than one, y'all gonna overlap. And like most people work 12-hour shifts. So like they're sleep. So I didn't have no roommates. I was able to like be all in my room freely and stuff. So like if you in a situation where you can do or you can sit in the bathroom and do your hair. They got like a huge community bathroom. But if you comfortable doing your own hair, like I would just throw like big twists, like something that was quick or like big box braids in my hair. And then when I didn't have anything in my hair, if I would go like a few weeks or whatever, washing my hair, I just made sure because the water is so harsh, because it's not pipes, not a piping system. Over there by our dorms, it wasn't a piping system, it was a tank. And they would refill the tank every day. And that's where the water went into the bathrooms and all that stuff. And the water's harsh because they put chlorine and stuff in it. And it sits outside and it's like dumb hot. And just, I don't know, it's really harsh in your hair. So I just say, condition, oil. That's what I made sure I did. Like I was extra heavy on the conditioner, extra heavy on the oil. Like I was doing like how we do here, like putting a whole bunch of, while I'm in the shower, putting a shit ton of oil in my hair, like a shit ton of conditioner, like just making sure it's very, very moisturized because the water is harsh on our hair. Like it's very harsh. So you need to stay. I don't know what you would do if you have like oily hair. Don't some people have that problem? I can't speak on that. I don't know.
I feel like the only people that ever said they have that problem is like Caucasians, and it's like I feel like they tend to not care for those oils, and those oils is what keeps your hair thick and nice and not like Like they have a different
The
they have a
Caucasians
different
wash
type
their
of
hair every day. I don't know
Yeah.
how they was able to do that and it wasn't hard on their hair, but like us, that water is harsh on your hair and you have to like the way to combat that is I would just suggest like keeping it oiled up. And then if you're able to do protective styles on yourself, do protective styles on yourself. And if you can do feed-in braids, give yourself a couple feed-in braids. It gets very windy there, like where I was at, very, very windy sometimes. And lay the gel on thick because, and then me being the only Black woman, of course, I would, somebody has something to say about my hair. It never failed. It's always gonna happen at least once. So, you just that's all I can suggest I give you about the hair. If you do where I was at or anywhere overseas, really, because their culture is different from ours. The fashion, the fads, and all of that stuff is different. If you do go get your hair braided, be very, 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 very specific on how you want your hair braided. Because I wasn't specific, I just sat down and get my hair braided, which is why I didn't like it. They could actually do a good, like braiding it was a good job, but I just didn't like how it looked. So I would just suggest, because it is, the trends and the fad is different, just be specific on, if you get your hair braided, just be specific on how, like very specific on how you want your hair braided, how tight you want them to braid it, how you want them to braid it, how you want them to part it, like all of that stuff. As far as a deployment bay, y'all know how the military go. Like, y'all know how the military go. Like, y'all know the stereotype.
Yep.
I mean, it was some people that was up there engaged, married, bumping everybody. Some people who minded their own business. You there for a long time. Like, you spend a lot of time with people. Like, there's gonna be somebody that you spend a whole lot of time with. So I don't know what to say about that. Like, I know the stereotype. Like, stereotype is a stereotype. I don't know why it's a huge stereotype, because I feel like people are gonna do what they're gonna do whether you're in the military or not. Like, so I mean,
do you feel like the stereotype was true based on what you saw?
I mean, it's true, but I don't know why it's a military stereotype, because I see that in real life. So, like, I see that in real life. I just feel like people just got more time on their hands. Not that you have more time on their hands, but you only working in a set, so you have more time on. So maybe that's why it's like heightened that you see more people dealing with more people, because it's like I don't think outside of work you ain't got nothing else going on. So,
and you're away from your spouse or your family, so it's just like,
I just say, if you don't get caught up in it, is all I gotta say. I do know that there was one particular female there who got way too caught up in it, to the point where she wasn't handling her business first, i.e. her job. Henley, you're an adult, do what you want to do who you want to do it with, hang with whoever you want to hang with, spend your time with whoever you want to hang with. Business, no, you up there for a reason. You up there to work. Handle your business first. Don't let it come in between your job. Don't let it, affect anything. Don't let, leadership or whatever have to get involved. That would be like my biggest thing. Like, you're not supposed to be having sex in like the dorms and all of this stuff. Like, if you get up around, you get in trouble for fraternizing because you ain't working, because you're getting caught and all of that stuff. You ain't handling your business, so you shouldn't be doing, But aside from that, you're an adult. You're going to do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. You might meet the love of your life there. I'm not saying don't, but like, just remember what you're there for first. And then that really comes last, especially if you got goals. It's work first. It's goals, because it's a good time to work on yourself. And then it's socializing. I feel like that's last, personally. So just don't let it interfere with nothing. But yeah, like, I mean, the stereotype, like, you're banging on each other.
I mean, I do believe that it all depends on who you fraternizing with, because like one person from my unit, when he got deployed, he met someone and they just got married a couple months ago, so that could come out of it. But then I also know someone that got deployed and he had a deployment bay and that deployment babe wanted to do all this extra stuff, as in like transfer to our base and leave your girl for me and all this extra shit. And it's like, come on now, like, don't mix business and pleasure. You out there to make that money. You know, you find a little something that you want to play with, but keep in mind end goal. Like this is just a 6 month tour, 4 month tour, a year tour. Like after that tour, there's a chance that
It's
you might
not forever.
ever see that person again.
It's not forever. And the thing is, like, it feels like it's forever because it feels like you're there so long and it's so routine, especially if it's somebody that you see every day and you work closely with every day. It's going to feel like forever. That you got to remember, you got to go home and they got to go home. Let's don't get caught up with my only suggestion. Like, handle your shit. And then, you know, have fun. I do suggest having fun, but handle your shit.
True that. Handle your
Okay.
motherfucking shit.
All right. Well, any closing comments on your deployment? We're happy that you're back. We're happy to have you. Anything that you'd like to just close out with?
Don't be nervous. It's an experience. Hopefully you meet somebody great. Get up there, learn some new skills, set some goals, make the best out of it. If you have a mindset that it sucks, it's going to suck. No matter how bad it sucks, this is what they told me before I left, embrace the suck. No matter how bad it sucks, embrace it. Because you know, it's gonna only suck as bad as you let your mind feel like it sucks. So like it's good. It's a good experience. I just suggest if you have a situation where it's your first, you've never been deployed and they're asking for volunteers, I would suggest volunteering. If you have a situation where you're being made to volunteer and you don't want to, but you have to, get up there and just embrace the suck. It's as good as you make it. That's my suggestion. I would do it again. And I love my home life. So like if I could go up there, if this was an adjustment for me, anybody could fucking do it. Because the bitch be out here turning up and living her best life. And all of that was stripped away. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
All right. Well, again, Patty's back. So we about to be big lit. Stay tuned because we got more coming your way. So it's basically unpopular.
Big
Stay
lit,
with us.
big basically unpopular, big content. Because the bitch is back. You feel me? Hey.
Stay tuned. We'll see y'all again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.